What a wonderful day it is this morning. Today is Friday, the 22nd day of August 2025. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. You are watching Signature Morning on Signature TV. Lillian, how are you today?
I'm good, Uche. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You look lovely.
You too. Good morning.
Well, yes. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Uche Nachim, the Oluoha.
And yes, thank you. This morning, I am Lillian Wali.
And we'll be moving over to our newspaper headlines and review. Let's see what is trending on the papers this morning. Do stay with us. Welcome back. It's time to look at our headlines this morning, and we'll be starting with the Daily Trust newspaper. And on the headlines, we have 2027 micro-zoning battle splits Southern PDP leaders.
And Katsina Mosque attack search continues as over 50 bodies recovered. Renewed hostilities disturbing CDF.
Katsina Mosque attack search continues as over 50 bodies recovered. Renewed hostilities disturbing CDS.
And despite meeting OPEC quota, price drop threatens Nigeria's capital project. And government deports 102 Chinese nationals, others over cybercrime.
Amidst criticisms, the RMFAC begins public officers' pay review. And we have FCT community residents vacate homes over erosion.
And Nigeria's forex reserves rise to $41 billion, and man allegedly flogs son to death. And that you're going to find on page 21 of the Daily Trust newspaper.
So the Blueprint newspaper, Nigeria's forex reserves hits record $41 billion high. Trend represents 3.69% growth in less than 3 weeks. Our nation's rise has begun, Tinubu echoes at Tigard 9.
Katsina villagers pay 15 million naira ransom, seek dialogue with bandits. And also, Wike flags off Lot 2 water project, rally support for Mike Lango Aduda.
November convention threatened as PDP Southern leaders disown Lagos meeting. South chairman, ex-governors, others kick. We also have ASU rejects FG's loan scheme, threatens fresh strike.
And now over to Daily Sun newspaper. PDP decides on FCT minister. We won't go into gutters with Wike, says Governor Makinde. Opposition parties chieftains meet in Lagos, insist on Monday NEC meeting.
North battered by multiple tragedies of banditry, ACF cries out.
At Lagos Roadshow, Bauchi unveils economic investment potentials.
And still on the Daily Sun, assault on NYSC girl, LP NAS caucus demands prosecution.
Edo government seals shrines, declares cult leaders wanted.
All right, now to the Guardian newspaper, we have Alafi versus Oni, old warpath for new entrants on page 6.
Analysts forecast stronger naira as eternal reserves hit $41 billion.
Despite mounting debts, NNPCL declares 185 billion naira profit, says FAC 7.9 trillion naira.
An Ebonyi landslide kills 2 as state government seals mining site.
All right, now on the Nigerian Tribune, we have PDP crisis. Makinde talks tough. When people go low or go into the gutters, I don't go with them, he says. Expresses readiness to reach out to the aggrieved. As Southern leaders kick, disown Lagos zoning meeting, party not dead, will offer better option in 2027, says Governor Diri, others. And NEC meets on Monday to adopt zoning committee report on page 4.
And Chief of Defense Staff says on page 21 that every Nigerian should learn combat skills for self-defense. And also on health matters, vegetarian diets can slash cancer risk by up to 45%, study finds, and that's on page 3.
Oyo government approves 1 billion naira compensation for circular road project disburses 600 million naira.
And we will get our local government back, Adeleke says, rallies PDP members for 2026 election.
Now to the Vanguard newspaper, we have climate change, how floods worsen Nigeria's healthcare woes, havoc from floods, heat, unpredictable weather. Experts warn of deadly rise in diseases. Nigeria on environmental cliffhanger. Why proactive and inclusive policies are imperative to check looming disaster, on page 14.
And on page 9, ACF says that insecurity aggravating pains enough. And Olu of Warri flags off Iwere Trust Fund with 750 million naira. And that's on page 12. And 2027, fresh crisis looms in PDP over zoning formula.
Now to the Daily Times newspaper, as to reject 150,000 naira monthly pension for retired lecturers may go on strike, on page 5.
Nigeria set to achieve 2.5 million barrels daily by 2026, says NUPRC. And return home, Nigeria is rising again. Tinubu urges diaspora Nigerians.
FRSC Corps Marshal rewards personnel with 250,000 naira for rejecting bribe, on page 14.
And Finance Ministry under fire for breaching budget disclosure law. That's on page 12 of the Daily Times newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper, CDS says 2027 polls behind surge in killings. That's on page 2. Steady flow of foreign cash empowering terrorists, says Musa. Nigeria facing growing security risk from Sahel conflict, defense chief says.
All right, external reserves climbed to 44-month high of $41 billion. And we have 3 US-based Nigerians jailed 8 years for $520,000 fraud.
Also on the Punch newspaper, UK leads Nigeria's Q1 capital inflow with 5.5 trillion naira. And Oyo to pay 1 billion naira compensation on circular road project. External reserves climb to 44-month high of $41 billion. And yes, that's it on our newspaper headlines this morning. And with us in the studio, as usual, is our very own Chris Maduka. Good morning,
Hello,
Chris.
Chris. Good morning.
Good morning, beautiful ladies. And good morning, people who are watching us.
Yes, let's get started.
It's another new day.
Mm-hmm.
And if I start from the last, CDS 2027 polls behind the surge in killings. My dear sisters, I was going through a virtual video. Somebody, it should be an Asian man, that is, probably said, if you are having surge in sugar, you have this sugar spike in the morning, avoid breakfast. It sounded funny, but if what you eat in the morning helps your sugar to spike, avoid it. So Nigeria, if 2027 is behind the surge in killings, then stop 2027 for God's sake. What's the madness? The government started it all. Why are we beginning campaign in 2 years' time? Where is INEC? Where is the rule? Everything in Nigeria is settled for 2027. And then the CDS, the chief of defense staff, is telling us that this is cause. So stop it. You know the cause. And you are the cause. But you can't stop it. So what are we deceiving? By the way, it makes no sense to me that when people are talking about they've been telling us the cause of this high insecurity in Nigeria. Every day we hear this is the cause, this is the cause. Stop it. For God's sake, let's start stopping. Let's start doing something. It might not, since they are security people, it might not be unconnected. Well, but then, stop it. The sitting government, APC, is talking about 2027. In fact, it's APC that started 2027. So what do they expect the other politicians to do? They have to join the queue, and everybody is talking about if it's not defection, which they started and they were happy. Then the other one were coalition. Coalition started, and then now somebody's coming to tell us that. So first, let's get to 2077 as a bridge and cross it. If it's going to be a bane of Nigeria. But then look at it, because in other newspapers it says flooding.
Yes.
Is a part of
worsening
Nigerian
Nigerian
health
healthcare.
situation. But then some people sat somewhere and they're talking about 2027.
Exactly.
Hunger and hardship. Things are not working. If you go through the headlines, you see so many things. In 44 years, months, we are reaching 41 billion dollars external reserve.
Yes.
How much are we owing? Are they confusing us with figures?
And they are still moving on with the.
My father told me,
yes.
if you don't have 10 in the house, if 10 enters, it will vanish. Upward. If Nigeria has 41 billion in external reserve, and you are owing somebody 147 billion, the same dollar. So what do you have? You have nothing. Why are they deceiving people with the figures? That's my concern. Because if we, for instance, have 147 trillion or billion dollars in foreign reserve, and we are owing 41 billion, we are safe and sound. We can borrow more. But beyond this is what they just tell people. They won't tell you what they are owing. They will still borrow, and National Assembly will approve. So let's go borrow.
And they are still moving on with the public officers' pay review.
That is one we have cried here and made our opinion known. You know, that's the democracy. The minority will have their say. The majority will have their way. But in this case, I don't know who is majority, who is minority. That's Nigeria. You get confused. If the majority are the people who say, let's pause this idea of increment in the pay rise for political office holders, that is ill-timed. But you see in Nigerian newspaper today that RMAF, whatever their name is still going ahead with it. Meaning, everything people are saying does not count. So, good luck. What else can you say? You only have to say what you feel. And we are here, we are not even holding opinion. It's what Nigerian newspaper report we are reviewing. So, Lillian, let's go.
We're seeing that Daily Times says ASU rejects 150,000 naira monthly pension for retired lecturers, and they may go on strike.
They have the freedom to reject what was offered to them, and they also have freedom of threat of going on strike. This is not the first time and may not be the last. But there's this, how we say this in Igbo language, onyo azodom. If other workers in Nigeria have 150,000 naira pension, monthly pension, I don't think they will be complaining. So, the person who he give him out talk saying, give him out talk. I'm not saying they still feel free. ASU can feel free to ask for. But if ASU, I was waiting for them to say that federal government is not paying them 150,000 monthly. And then that's when they are asking for increase. But you just reject and threaten strike and all. If you are a slave, you look back how a fellow slave is being buried and see whether you are better or not. What are other Nigerian workers getting? In as much as the political office holders are going ahead to increase their own, and they've told us that National Assembly is earning 29 million, allegedly, because none of them, the present distinguished nurse, has come out to tell us this hour. People who left there before said in the very video all Nigerians watched, and it's still there. But the present one has kept quiet because it may not be in the position to talk, so that nobody will Natasha anybody. Now, what they want to do is to keep quiet. But we are working with the figure we had. Somebody said this is what the present National Assembly is earning. Whether it's an award against them, it's not we that manufacture. But we are working with the figure we have. Remember, if the official figure is not given, we make up our own. Because in Nigeria, the officials in government can keep Nigerians in what they call media dark. They keep them in darkness so that, but Nigerians are good at manufacturing figures. And we work with it. It's this same country that the governor, a sitting president, was away for 153 days. Nobody knew where he was. So, and people started making up. stories then. So this will not be beyond it. But I find something interesting about PDP.
Yes.
And their 2027
zoning
whatever
formula.
crisis looming.
Yes.
I find that it's a party now. We are thinking that is no more, but you find a lot of tough talking people. Makinde is now talking tough this side. Wike is talking tough this side.
They are all
the
talking
people
tough.
are in the middle. I don't know what they're doing. When you have a house where you have two tough talking people, that way is a obodo for a village that the people are missing and they are laughing. They will not stop. So if PDP has gone on tough talking thing, while they have a house to build for a future 2027, which other people have gone ahead, then they continue to talk tough. When you get to 2027, they go to the pools and talk tough. Because this is time for them to build. But we hear Makinde talk tough, we get talk tough. Which other one? What's the former chairman? That one, I can't pronounce his name. Talk tough. Everybody is talking tough.
Exactly.
So PDP is now the party of dangerous talking tough people. PDTP.
Yes. Now, a very interesting one, still on the Nigerian Tribune. Every Nigerian should learn combat skills for self-defense.
Chief of staff.
We'll learn karate.
Get ready to go. But that's what they're telling us. But it's not out of the way. Then, what happened to some of you just recent served? Because if it's youth service is our army, we are now retired major general. We are now retired general. So you guys just are still in service, as it were. Now, I don't know how ready you guys are with your combat ready. Every Nigerian, you go to the villages, those women who plant cassava and harvest, and people are raping and killing them. Teach them how to fight. That's what I'm telling you. We say good things in the wrong way. Nigerian youth corpers, Nigerian youth, the voluntary service, have always a 1 year compulsory service. But what do? They go and because they are overwhelming the nation, they go on that orientation where they're supposed to learn these things for 3 weeks only. It used to be 1 month or even more, and you have constant, But now, so who are they telling to? Who is going to teach us combatness? Probably they employ the terrorists and bandits to teach us the combat so that I don't know what CDS is saying. There are so many things that's coming from CDS that is making us feel unsafe. What they're telling us indirectly is that we are on our own. Go and learn how to defend yourself. If I'm misquoting CDS, they didn't come back and counter. Because that's what he's telling Nigerians. Go find a way of defending yourself. Learn combat ready. Combat ready is not just wahoo, yeah, cool. Go buy gun, buy knife, buy machete. That's what he's saying. Defend yourself. Learn how to do it. That is what this country has come to. And you are blaming those who have jackpot. Can't blame them. Because if you check the cost of buying AK-47, it's enough to get you visa of any country in the world and go. So why are you buying it even when you don't even know how to shoot it? Because CDS has to deploy soldiers to start teaching us combat ready in every village. Let's move on. So Alaafin versus Ooni of Ife. Old war part for new entrants. Must they continue perpetuation of war if they were war part of the old? There are 2 young people, and Ooni of Ife had my respect because he had shown vibrancy and brought new energy into that position. And the new crowned Alaafin of Oyo, why are they doing this? Who did this to them? The 2 major true ancient thrones in Yoruba nation, they're now at war part. You know what that means? They have put a knife to what is holding the Yorubas together. And soon, things will not... And you know what that will lead to? This kind of thing of Ahuno, the home war. Home war can really devastate. And then, let them not be the case of the legendary man that said they will roast you in fire. You go back to use fuel to bath. So if there are general enemies trying to destabilize every single group that are seen to be united, this might be a hand of Esau and voice of Jacob somewhere.
Let's look at our own southeast. They are saying Ebonyi landslide kills 2 as state government seals mining site.
Yes. People have been mining, mining illegally, and the government are aware. Nobody is stopped them. When the land collapse and kill people, government will come. That's Nigeria for you. So I don't feel surprised with what the government is doing. You could have saved this by what don't they have is if it was something else, that means they sabotage themselves because they know that people are mining. And some people have been gaining from that mining site, whether internal and external or internal. But until common people who are fighting for survival dies, that's when the government appears. Must we get to that level for government to make decisions and policy? Must our decision be based on blood of innocent Nigerians? Can't we as government see beyond what ordinary people? Well, what makes them government? It's because they are top. The top of everything. Where they operate, the view should be clearer. They are looking at everything. There will be an accident here, block it. You don't allow people, you say you are their leader, they get into fire before you start pulling them out and pull out the ones that will come out with bombs and the ones that have died of grade A bomb. So who is losing?
Exactly.
Every number of Nigerians that dies in avoidable death, I want to remind politicians and that's the potential voters. That's the number of votes they are losing. So they can as well laugh. They can as well come and be reading us preempted speeches because they see accident coming, they will keep quiet. When it happens, they will call government mourn, government regrets, government sympathize, government empathize. This total nonsense. Do not empathize and sympathize with us. Stop those actions before they take place because that's why you are government. Yes. We don't put you there to empathize, sympathize, and more or think or act. And once your government is proactive and people are seeing it, they will fall in line. Nigerians are good at falling in line. After all, you guys were not born when we have a war against indiscipline.
All right.
We fell in line that time. Nobody forced us to.
All right, Chris. There is a very interesting one on the Daily Times. It says FRSC call marshal rewards personnel with 250,000 naira for rejecting bribe. Right. Is it that corruption has gone so much in our country that they are now rewarding people for doing what is right?
Exactly. When Alon Abaho become a man, when evil lasts for a year, it becomes a culture. And you know that bribery is culture. So they are trying to find people who are trying to be one single person out of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right thing, for doing
the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. If you find somebody who is manageable, righteous, God can stop destroying. So once you find one person out of, check the number of road safety people. Check the number, and only one single person could earn 250,000 naira for rejecting bribe. That means what the bribes that have been rejected, and then somebody will say on the side, it depends on what bribe he was offered. Because I tell you, there's even a bribe you give the call marshal. He will put everybody in Nigeria I've seen have a price. When your price is right, you close eyes and collect bribe. If I sit down, like I told people in Nigeria, what they are bane of is that we allow people too much power to make money they cannot account for. The way they use it. Is in Nigeria you find somebody being given a bribe of 10 billion. And that person may not have seen 1 million naira in cash before. And somebody is offering you 10 billion. If that person rejected, that person must be Jesus Christ. Now, in such situation, what do you expect? Because if the person reject the bribe, if he come home, his people will kill him. If wife did not give him poison, the children will shoot him or shrink him to death in his sleep. Because they will come back and ask, Daddy, they offer you 10 billion naira, yes, you rejected it, yes. So welcome back.
Why are you alive?
So is that in this country, somebody gave you 10 billion? Did you ask that person where the 10 billion come from? He said, no. Don't you think it's our commonwealth that the guy has enough of 10 billion to offer you? And you rejected it. You want to use your head to break coconut for this country. And where are you going to be where they will chop it? The children will say, don't worry, let night come. So there are so many things about bribery and corruption. Nigerians are comfortable with bribery and corruption, and Nigerians were described by our colonial masters quite recently as fantastically corrupt nation. So it can only stop
This
when
is
you
alarming.
reject, that we start rejecting bribe together. If one single person reject bribe, they give him 250,000. After so many years, one person reject, they give him what of the ones who are collecting? Let's start giving the ones who are collecting punishment. Somebody who reject bribe, you give him 250. The ones who accepted, what do you do them? Nothing. So the person will look at it. So you weigh your price. The 250 is equal to
the money that you're collecting.
So if somebody collect 1 billion naira and succeed, nobody cut him. I reject bribe of 500,000. Give me 250,000. Next time I will consider. I will know which one. That's all. There's one I would like to say because it concerns men. How quest for sexual validation boosts manpower business and organ damage. They thought the line say harder.
I knew you would say that. I knew you would say that.
The way you are dramatizing it.
Did it sound familiar? We have to ask for a check.
Because of time.
So this whatever is happening here, we'll talk about it next time.
Yes, please.
We'll talk harder, faster.
Faster.
I don't know what that means.
Harder heals.
I don't know what that means.
Your life. And then God bless Nigeria. God bless all the people who have watched, for those who
deserve to be blessed. Thank you
so
much.
Thank you so much for that newspaper review. And now we have come to the end of our newspaper review with Chris Maduka. Thank you for joining us, and do stay with us because when we return, our signature morning continues.